fearless bounty hunter, Samus Aran, appeared in 2002's Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance. This would be the last time we'd see her star in a brand new 2D Metroid title. Metroid has always seen itself in the lower end of Nintendo's high-demanding IPs as opposed to Zelda or the Mario franchises. A Metroid Fusion follow-up, or better yet, a sequel titled Metroid Dread, was noted in gaming magazines dating back to 2006 for the Nintendo DS. There was even a brief mention of Dread nearing completion all the way back in Metroid Prime 3, Corruption. No matter how many times Dread was reported on, we wouldn't see Fusion's sequel or Metroid 5 until fall of 2021. Now, if you're new to Metroid, then fear not. The game easily recaps the events of Fusion really quickly. Samus travels to a planet known as SR-388 to investigate a parasite known as the X, which would later infect Samus, almost killing her. Due to reverse engineering Metroid DNA, she was able to recover in a newly altered suit. An altercation at the BSL research station occurred, where Samus would see her infected power suit corrupted and newly named as the SAX. While uncovering and destroying all the nasty, infectious X-parasite-like monsters and even the SAX, the BSL station would be no longer, and Metroid-style fashion, Samus would escape in the nick of time. So that wraps up Fusion's events. The Galactic Federation receives a distress signal from a planet known as ZDR, showing more remaining lifeforms of the X-parasites lingering around. The Federation sends out research robots to uncover any data and information, including wiping out any of the remaining X coming from the unknown planet. So far, nothing's come back from the research bots, leaving Samus, the only one in the entire galaxy who's immune to the X-parasite, to venture into ZDR alone. As of Metroid Dread, all Metroids are now extinct. Samus enters ZDR as she's faced with an unexpected guest. A fight brews, with this bird-like individual overpowering Samus. She's soon put out of commission, waking up and no longer wearing her orange Varia suit and losing most of her abilities, leaving you with nothing efficient on this foreign planet. You come across a network station, which syncs up with Samus' data from her suit. She's able to reach in contact with her navigation system AI, Adam, who reviews her video and data logs. You've been attacked by a Chozo, the bird-like individual whose identity has yet to be revealed. You're being informed that your top priority is to return to your gunship, considering you're located in the very depths of ZDR's planet, so it's time to make our way back. ZDR is bound to have trouble lurking in every corner, and Samus has the basic tools to defend herself for right now. Her iconic arm cannon and rapid-fire beams can be utilized in eradicating foes in a traditional manner. The option to free aim and accurately pinpoint where Samus can blast monsters and creatures from creates more flexibility and a wide range of motion that previous Metroid titles, excluding the 3DS Samus Returns remake, could never pull off before. It's also advised to utilize free aiming and shooting beams in multiple directions around environments. If you as the player suddenly become stuck or stagnant, shooting your environment could open up areas and an opportunity to progress. Parrying plays a satisfying role in your defense by timing your button presses accordingly with the enemy's flashing prompts, and when done successfully, allows easy open shots to claim the advantage. Missiles are great for an added deal of damage, and Samus has the ability to slide and jump through enemies and environments at will. For right now, these core mechanics and strategies are going to play heavily into the game moving forward. It's not long before we manage to make our way through ZDR. That is, until something insanely familiar comes marching Samus' way. The Federation's research units that were originally sent to ZDR are no longer your friends. For now, we have to bypass the EMI, and soon enough we stumble across the Omega Cannon. The blast from these unique power-ups charges Samus' standard beam blast and create enough of a powerful impact to send the EMI to shreds. But it's not long before we venture into a bone-chillingly dangerous area, presenting another hostile encounter. Pretty crazy, right? Sudden death comes your way when you fail to parry the Emmy's finishing blows. Moments from what is known as the Emmy zones are patrol routes in which the Emmy lies. When the Emmy pulse detects movement and spots you, run, because your life depends on it. Hiding becomes an effective strategy in times like these. When an Emmy is in the chase mode, the doors that allow Samus to exit these zones are locked until the Emmy is no longer on high alert. According to Adam, the Emmys on the planet are all hostile. When an Emmy manages to capture you, the player's likelihood of death rises to 99%, leaving you with a 1% survival rate and parrying the Emmy successfully. Keep this in mind, the Emmys may slowly get creative, so treading these zones carefully is a must. This is what makes Dread special. Moments where the game actively implements Emmy zones in which the player must cautiously venture through if they hope to progress creates tension and fear. One wrong step or one wrong move at the worst time could lead to a pursuit, but better yet, a game over screen when caught and unsuccessful. Throughout ZDR, upgrades and new abilities are waiting to be uncovered and added to Samus' collection. Missile and energy tank upgrades will increase the numbered capacity at which Samus can hold and are obtained through simplistic and creative means. As mentioned before, the Omega Cannon is used to create a powerful enough blast to eradicate the Emmy for good, which are discovered through Emmy Zone areas where Omega Cannon energy can be extracted after killing a gigantic eyeball to obtain the temporary power to get the job done. You'll also unlock abilities like the Charge Beam, Spider Magnet, Aeon Energy, Screw Attack, Shine Spark Speed Boost, and so on and so forth. Samus also acquires changes to her suit that will allow for different functionality and opportunities to traverse through various temperatures and roadblocks. In Metroid Dread, boss fights have come packed with more life than ever before. Various moments where the game beautifully transitions between fluid gameplay and huge gimmicks to let Samus come out on top, along with super cool quick-time events, creates a uniqueness to tackling the big enemies in Dread. From bosses becoming parryable, to blasting away like there's no tomorrow. What made things even more thrilling during these moments were seeing how Samus is allowed to use her missiles to deal more damage after a successful parry to the bosses, knocking down their health by a long mile, helping to incentivize finding and picking up missile tank upgrades if you want to knock the competition out of the park. Samus isn't a talkative protagonist whatsoever, but every interaction that places Samus amongst the boss fights in this game speaks volumes. She displays major confidence and precision when she's ready to tackle each threat. There's moments where her mannerisms bleed out tremendously that will leave you understanding that Samus has been bounty hunting for quite a while, considering she's tackled huge threats time and time again, but nothing that she can't handle. ZDR is pretty big. You will be making your way to the very top in hopes to return to your gunship and figure out the mysteries that lie ahead. The game has 9 unique locations that contain various portals scattered inside of each of the 9 locations, which are named Art Aria, Cataris, Dairon, Berenia, Gavrin, Ferenia, Elan, Hanubia, and Idarash. Midway through Samus' journey, she stumbles upon hieroglyphics of a Chozo tribe. Her memory comes back, realizing that one of the Chozo depicted in the imagery is the same one who attacked her when she first arrived at ZDR. This awakens a killer instinct within Samus' body. Recognized by an Emmy and being pursued is quickly put on pause before any harm can be done. Greeted by a peaceful Chozo named Quiet Robe, a scientist begins explaining that the one responsible for attacking Samus is a Chozo named Ravenbeak, possessing unique power and ability while being the leader of the Makin tribe. Their goal was to obtain and eradicate any dangerous Metroids from SR-388 until Ravenbeak believed in using the Metroids to take over the universe and residing within ZDR until the X made its way back to the planet, infecting his soldiers. Soon enough, plans fell when Samus destroyed all remaining Metroids at this point. Now, the reason the Emmy have been rewired to hunt Samus comes with one sole purpose. Ravenbeak wants Samus' Metroid DNA from her body. But in classic fashion, this is a challenge Samus is willing to accept, with Quiet Robe unlocking a blocked off passageway and disabling the Emmys. This leaves room for Samus to confront Ravenbeak. The grandeur moment didn't last long, did it? Samus makes her way further into Elan, where we see the many X-Parasite running rampant, and one infecting the deceased Quiet Robe, re-enabling the Emmys to continue pursuit. Samus obtains the iconic gravity suit, and ZDR is experiencing weird heat loss and becomes frozen over due to a blockage. She eradicates the issue in such a badass fashion and restores the heat to ZDR. Soon enough, Samus's killer instinct awakens, but is quickly dismissed, as she's currently being watched by Ravenbeak. That is, until... Now that's Metroid DNA coming in clutch. It's not long before Samus is ready to confront Ravenbeak, but a conversation with Adam exposes the unsettling question of how much of Adam's communication all throughout ZDR managed to come in at the hands of Ravenbeak.
You have followed my instructions faithfully so far. Continue to do so. It's that simple. I consider your performance here on ZDR highly satisfactory, as I hoped. It has even awakened your Metroid powers. I was right to let you live during our first encounter. That one glimpse you showed told me everything. Submit and offer up your power. My plan is the only way to bring order to the galaxy. Fulfill your destiny, Samus. This is an order. Disobedience will not be tolerated.
Now, the real truth is revealed. You're Ravenbeak's daughter. You possess the same Mocking DNA as him. And now your ultimate test begins. The first phase consists of avoiding massive projectiles that follow Samus around, with avoiding energy-draining light rays and timing your beam blast correctly and counterattacking Ravenbeak at the right moment, while once again, shooting the boss down like there's no tomorrow. In the second phase, Ravenbeak becomes aerial, as he'll perform fast-paced spin dashes and ground pounds, along with free aim targeting towards Samus in hopes to knock you off your feet, including a super quick charge beam blast that needs to be avoided to prevent taking massive damage. Ravenbeak will not stop until he sees you fall. As the music rises and becomes intense, the third phase has him utilizing Aeon energy dashing, massively following projectiles in a combination of multiple attack patterns and moves you've seen from the last two phases, now intertwined with each other. Longer charged beam blasts, heavy punches, all creating for a challenging yet rivaling boss fight between your father. From nearly becoming triumphant in her fight against Ravenbeak, Samus is nearly put out of commission once more, even with her killer instinct. Is there now a reason to fear Ravenbeak? Metroid Dread is fantastic. A return to the franchise that started it all was a blast to play. Enjoying a new entry to a video game that's near and dear to my heart brought back many childhood memories of staying up all night to play Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission on the Game Boy Advance. The controls and the atmosphere and the way Dread handled the element and aspect of taking Fusion's moments with its chase and pursuer sequences to a whole new level added a wonderful layer of depth and tension to create a sense of fear. Some moments left me hesitating to traverse further into enemy zones, as I was more on the edge of my seat, hoping that the last thing to come my way was a hostile killing machine wanting to rip the DNA out of my body. But nonetheless, this is a beautifully packed Metroid video game on the Nintendo Switch. The game shows the player their clear time of how long it took you to beat the game. There's tips and tricks scattered all throughout YouTube of what's known as sequence breaking, and even speedrunning strategies if you're looking to beat the game or skip designated parts of Dread to score a lower clear time. So feel free to check those out online when you get the chance. But if the normal difficulty for Dread wasn't up your alley, then once you clear the game on normal mode, hard mode is unlocked. As of right now, Nintendo added the recently released Rookie and Dread mode, giving you a run for your money with a sudden death stipulation if an enemy manages to hit you once, and a difficulty that allows an easier ride through Dread if you're looking for a more comfortable experience. And if you're still on the fence about diving into what might be your first Metroid video game, then you can always head right onto the Nintendo eShop and download the demo. No strings attached, you just need a Nintendo Switch to download and access the demo. So I highly recommend giving this game a try if you haven't played it already. You see, Metroid Dread is a wonderful game, and I hope that this new entry will inspire you to get out there and go play it. Thank you, Nostalgics. I'll see you later in the next one.